The basement smelled of frost and iron, the kind of cold that clawed at your bones. Two men stood frozen, not by the chill, but by the man before them, Lucas Kane, a mountain of muscle and menace, holding a cleaver that gleamed like a guillotine. They'd stormed his home, fake HOA badges pinned to their chests, thinking they could bully their way in. They didn't know they'd walked into a trap. The walk-in freezer behind them slammed shut with a clang that rang like a death knell. Lucas's voice was low, steady, a predator's growl. "Wrong house, boys." What happened next would leave a courtroom stunned, a neighborhood buzzing, and two imposters regretting the day they set foot on Cedar Lane. It started 2 weeks earlier on a quiet Wednesday in Willow Creek, a suburban enclave of neat lawns and nosy neighbors. Lucas Kane didn't belong in this pastel world. At 6 feet 4 inches, 280 pounds, with a shaved head and a beard black as tar, he looked like he'd walked out of a biker bar, not a cul-de-sac. But his house was spotless, his life private, and his business a USDA-certified smoked meat operation thrived in his basement. Kane's Smokehouse supplied ribs and brisket to local restaurants, all run from a walk-in freezer the size of a vault, inspected monthly and locked tight. Customers came by appointment, paid, and left. No one complained. Not officially. Whispers, though, spread like wildfire. "He's up to something," muttered Helen Price, the HOA's self-appointed watchdog, her walkie-talkie a constant companion. "Hauls carcasses in at night." Her husband, Frank, added, peering through binoculars. "Ex-con, bet on it," said Josh Carter, the tech guy next door with a drone and too much time. Lucas heard the rumors. He didn't care. He'd seen worse tours in Iraq, a decade as a butcher, a life of pro-VYing his strength. All he wanted was peace, his clients, and the hum of his freezer. That Wednesday, Lucas was prepping lamb shanks, his apron blood-streaked, steel gloves glinting under the basement's white lights. The doorbell buzzed 3 sharp, aggressive blasts. Wiping his hands, he climbed the stairs and opened the door. 2 men stood there, wearing black polos with HOA compliance stitched in yellow. The tall one, wiry and smug, clutched a clipboard. The short one, stocky with a buzz cut, sneered. A black SUV idled behind them. No plates. "We're inspecting your property," the tall one said. No name offered. "Complaints about a commercial freezer in a residential zone. Article 10, Section Unauthorized Structures." Lucas raised an eyebrow. "Got a warrant?" The short one scoffed. "This ain't a courtroom, buddy. Let us in, or we fine you. Keep resisting, we freeze your license." "You see my freezer?" Lucas asked Comastone. "No," the tall one said. "Then you don't know if it's a problem." Lucas leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. The short one stepped forward. "You're running a slaughterhouse in a family neighborhood. We've had reports. Open the door, or we shut you down." Lucas's lips twitched. "Freeze my license, huh?" Funny. The men exchanged a look, a silent pact. Then they pushed past him, shouldering into the house. Lucas didn't stop them. He turned, boots thudding, and led them inside. "Ever handle raw meat?" he asked as they descended the basement stairs. No answer. The basement was pristine. White tiles, stainless steel, and the freezer, 6 feet tall, humming like a beast. A chain secured its door. Lucas unhooked it and pulled the door open. Cold air blasted out, carrying the scent of meat. Hooks held slabs of pork and lamb, swaying in the dim light. To Lucas, it was his craft. To the men, it was a horror show. "What the hell?" the short one gasped. "That's blood." The tall one pulled out his phone. "This is a health violation. Zoning violation. You're done." His hands shook as he tried to record. Lucas watched, silent. Then the freezer door swung shut, its weighted hinge slamming it closed with a boom. The men flinched, the short one dropping his phone. "Open it," he stammered. "I will," Lucas said, voice like gravel. "After we talk about breaking into my home." The air grew heavy. The men realized they weren't in control. Lucas stepped closer, his shadow swallowing them. "You pushed in here. No warrant, no badge, no authority. I run a legal business USDA, certified, inspected monthly. I've got permits, cameras, and patience I'm barely holding on to." He pointed to the ceiling, where red lights blinked from 4 cameras. "You're on tape." The tall one, whose polo red mic, spoke. "We're just checking safety. Complaints about meat in a residential area." "My freezer's sealed, soundproofed, climate-controlled," Lucas cut in. "Waste is biosafe, HVAC filtered. I've lived here 12 years, served my country. Never had a complaint until Helen Price started sniffing around." "You're not HOA. You're fakes. Patches this you've nice act, but you missed something." He reached under the table and set a cleaver down, its blade a slab of steel. The thud echoed. "You don't barge into the home of a man who can break down a steer in 4 minutes." The short one, called Pete by Mike, backed up pale. Mike's hand twitched toward his waist. Lucas's eyes narrowed. "Don't. If that's a gun, it's armed invasion. If it's fake, you're just sad." Mike raised his hands. "Let us go." "Go," Lucas said. "I haven't shown you my permits." He pulled a folder from a drawer, slapping it down. "Licenses, inspections, HOA exemption from when I rebuilt this block after the 15 flood. You're not here for safety. You're shaking me down." Silence fell, just the freezer's hum and the drip of thawing meat. Pete bolted for the stairs. Lucas grabbed his collar, yanking him back. Pete hit the floor, wheezing. Lucas turned to Mike. "You running too?" Mike shook his head. "No." "Sit," Lucas said. They obeyed, Pete on the floor, Mike against the cabinet. Lucas paced. "I knew someone would try this. Big guy, ex-soldier, keeps to himself, easy target, right? You thought I'd cave. You picked the wrong mark." Tires screeched outside. Lucas's lips curved. "Showtime." Footsteps hit the porch. "Mr. Kane, Officer Ruiz," a voice called. Lucas tapped the console, and a TV showed 2 cops at the door, body cams on. He climbed the stairs. "Come down. You'll love this." 10 minutes later, Mike and Pete were cuffed on the curb, their SUV impounded. Neighbors filmed, curtains twitched. Officer Ruiz ran their IDs. No HOA ties, just a history of scams. The SUV held fake badges, forged HOA letters, and a tablet listing targets: elderly, immigrants, veterans. Lucas's name was starred. Intimidate. Ruiz clapped Lucas's shoulder. "You kept your cool." "Most wouldn't." Lucas shrugged. "I've carved tougher meat than those two." The story blew up. Butcher Foyle's fake HOA cops hit the news. The footage, Pete's panic, Mike's trembling, Lucas's calm going viral. A storage unit raid uncovered fake uniforms, forged documents, and a VY Tim list. Mike and Pete, real names Caleb Dunn and Ethan Morse, were cousins running an extortion racket, posing as HOA enforcers to scam homeowners. They made thousands. Lucas was their last target. 2 months later, the courtroom was packed. Lucas sat in the back, arms crossed, as Caleb and Ethan shuffled in, shackled in orange. The prosecution showed security footage, body cams, the hit list with notes like "won't fight." The judge's voice was steel. "You preyed on trust. You chose the wrong man. Guilty. Impersonation, unlawful entry, extortion. 10 years each, no parole for 5. Outside, VY Tims cheered. A woman grabbed Lucas's arm, tears in her eyes. "They hit me last year. I paid them. I wish I'd fought like you." Lucas nodded. "Next time, call. I've got brisket." A week later, a cooler arrived from a local barbecue joint, engraved, HOA free zone. "Enter at your risk." Lucas hung a sign on his freezer, compliant. Trespassers processed. Ask Caleb and Ethan. They tried to bury him with lies. He buried them with truth and a cleaver they'd never forget. If you were the one in this story, how would you react? Would you stand up and fight back, or accept the unreasonable pressure and control from the HOA? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this VY Deo with more people. Your small action gives us the motivation to keep bringing you more intense and engaging stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next VY Deo.